Welcome back to the channel. My name is Vandell, co-founder of Black Swan Capitalist. So what if I told you that there is a company with groundbreaking technology that's not only revolutionizing the entire banking sector and the entire financial system as we know it, but also completely reshaping the way money moves globally, how value is transferred from A to Z. And it's growing at an astonishing pace, and so quickly it's becoming a major force in the financial world. And what if I told you that this company has both direct and indirect ties to the PayPal Mafia, the intelligence agencies, the World Economic Forum, and some of the most world's powerful tech billionaire oligarchs? Now, this company is called Ripple, and the connections behind it might surprise you, even if you've been in the community and following them for a long time. It's very overlooked. And in this video, I'm not making it to really persuade you to take sides, buy XRP, or sell it. My goal in this video is to connect the dots and follow the money trail, revealing just how powerful Ripple and their technology is. And my goal is to really explore who truly might be backing them or connected to them in some way, form, or fashion based on available data. Now, Ripple and its native token, XRP, are some of the most talked about topics in the entire crypto world today, especially online. The company's mission is simple and straightforward. It's to reshape cross-border payments for financial institutions, and it has sparked intense interest and polarizing opinions from nearly everyone in the space for a long time, especially now since it's coming on people's radar. Now, Ripple's goal with XRP is to revolutionize how money moves, how value moves globally. Considering the weight of their ambition and its potential impact on the financial system, I thought it only makes sense to explore the topic in depth, given the fact that a lot of people are interested in it and don't know too much about it. But before we dig deeper, what exactly is Ripple and XRP? They're two different things. Ripple is the company originally developed by Ryan Fugger, but in 2012 the project evolved under Chris Larson and Jed McCaleb and rebranded as OpenCoin, which later became Ripple Labs. Founded in 2012 as OpenCoin, Ripple is a tech company focused on building payment solutions for financial institutions. They made that very clear. It's best known really for its product RippleNet, which enables fast, low-cost international transactions using blockchain technology, and its system aims to make cross-border payments far more efficient than traditional banking methods, which are completely outdated. They did launch the regulated stablecoin recently called the RLUSD, which is fully backed by reserves and backed one-to-one by USD and cash equivalents. Now, on the other hand, you have XRP, which is Ripple's native digital currency. This is the digital asset my brother and I have been covering for about 5 years now. It's designed as a bridge currency to facilitate liquidity and do instant settlements without the middleman. It's basically a financial instrument that functions as a currency. It allows seamless transfers between different fiat and cryptocurrencies, and it's instant. Now, unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum, XRP transactions actually rely on a network of trusted validators rather than intensive energy mining. I just want to mention that if you're interested in booking a call with my brother or myself to discuss gold, investing, strategies, digital assets, crypto self-custody, financial markets, or other topics more in depth, feel free to touch base with us and book a call using the link in the description, or you can message me directly. Now, XRP and Ripple have drawn a wide range of opinions over the years, especially now. Some call XRP a scam, others say it's centralized, some believe it's going to overtake Bitcoin one day, and some think it's decentralized. On the other end, some argue it's a complete psyop, a military operation, a clever front for the central bankers and elite families to maintain their control over the monetary and financial system. and that Ripple is primarily focused on benefiting the financial institutions rather than the people and humanity. So, what's the truth? Well, to be honest with you guys, when faced with extreme views like this, I prefer to take a step back and objectively examine the facts, the data, and the timing of everything. In my experience, the truth often lies somewhere in the middle until it doesn't. So sometimes the truth isn't in what's being said, but more often in what's being left unsaid. And I like to take that into consideration. So in this video, I won't focus so much on XRP, the digital asset itself, but instead I'll dive into who's connected to Ripple and really explore who might truly benefit from the positive or negative narratives being fed to us about Ripple and XRP. Are these narratives grounded in reality, or is there more to the story? So that's what we're going to look into, and really let's follow the money and the connections to find out and paint a clear picture of what's going on. We just got to zoom out. So starting with the foundation, who is one of the leaders in the technology and digital asset space with a digital asset that has remarkable capabilities and is superior for moving value, truly aiming to shape the global financial system? That's Ripple. I think the facts are there and people should know that. But what exactly is Ripple and who are they connected to? So let's start with what they say on their website. Building the internet of value, enabling the world to move value the way information moves today. So kind of like Google, but for money and moving value. This statement tells us about Ripple's core mission, which is basically to transform cross-border payments by offering fast, low-cost solutions for financial institutions. So with products like RippleNet and on-demand liquidity and the RLUSD, Ripple's goal is to simplify international money transfers and improve liquidity by using XRP as a bridge currency. So XRP's primary function is to enable instant settlement and reduce transaction costs for banks, ultimately making global payment faster, cheaper, and more efficient without all the middlemen that you see in banking, and they're actually called correspondent banks in traditional banking. Now, additionally, Ripple recently launched their RLUSD stablecoin, as we mentioned, which is set to play a significant role in bringing liquidity to the XRP-L, which is the XRP ledger, basically a decentralized network. Now, Ripple's story takes an interesting turn when we zoom out, when you look at how their messaging has evolved over time. At one point, their website stated that they were more committed than ever to making XRP the world's reserve digital currency. That phrase has since disappeared. It's no longer on the website. Why the change? It makes me wonder, but maybe it was to protect national security interests or shift public perception and the narrative. But despite the change in the wording, their actions have stayed remarkably consistent over time. Now, Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's CEO, even mentioned at a conference in Asia at one point that XRP was created to function as a reserve currency.
When XRP was created, this actually was created before Ripple existed. The creators of XRP decided to be 100 billion units because they saw it as rather than having a smaller number with a very high price, they saw it as something they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency.
And since then, he's never made any similar statement or remarks. Now let's dive a little deeper to get the full picture. Let's look at how some of the biggest names in the tech world and finance, like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and the PayPal network, PayPal Mafia, connect to Ripple's rise. Now in 1998, Peter Thiel, the tech billionaire, co-founded Confinity with Max Levchin and Luke Nosek, launching PayPal a year later. And in 1999, Elon Musk founded X.com, an online payment service with a similar goal. And in the year 2000, the two companies actually merged together and eventually rebranded as PayPal. Now, at that time, when eBay bought PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion, it created a group of wealthy insiders later known as the PayPal Mafia, that we often hear about. Now, these early players actually went on to dominate the tech world and do their own thing, and their connections still remain strong. In essence, these are the tech billionaire oligarchs that we hear about. And as we stated earlier, Ripple was originally created by Ryan Fugger. But in 2012, the project evolved under Chris Larson and Jed McCaleb, and they rebranded it as OpenCoin, which later became Ripple Labs to revolutionize international payments through blockchain technology. Now, they introduced XRP as a bridge currency for faster, cheaper cross-border transactions. And this is where it gets extremely interesting, because in 2013, Peter Thiel's founder fund actually invested in Ripple, and this signals his ongoing belief in the financial innovation space. That ties Ripple to the influential PayPal network and PayPal Mafia that we're talking about, because the connections between tech, finance, and innovation are deeply intertwined when we look at all this together.
Crypto has been in the news time and time again, and I just want to share that I am on the board of Ripple. Ripple is XRP. And so when people ask me the question, why did you join the board of Ripple? I joined the board of Ripple because XRP serves a purpose. It's a function that facilitates cross-border payments. It's not some store of value, kind of arbitrary value that is not pegged to anything. This is actually what legitimate financial institutions use specifically for cross-border payments. So instead of days and dollars, it's seconds and cents. And that is the future, in my opinion.
Moreover, Ripple received funding from notable venture capital firms like Andreessen Horowitz and Google Ventures. Some of these firms have historically backed technologies that have attracted interest from government agencies, and there's proof to support that. Now, also several of Ripple's early investors, like Andreessen Horowitz and Pantera Capital, have actually very strong notable ties to government and intelligence networks. For instance, Mark Andreessen, which is the co-founder of Andreessen Horowitz, has served on the Defense Policy Board Advisory Committee, which actually advises the United States Department of Defense. And his firm has actually backed projects connected to DARPA. So these links strongly reflect a broader pattern of Silicon Valley's collaboration with government and defense agencies. And it's public information if you just find it out there. Now, while Ripple has cultivated pretty strong relationships with major financial institutions and has been heavily associated with certain influential figures and firms that interact with government entities such as the CIA, there's actually no direct evidence that proves Ripple was funded by intelligence agencies. Now, key investors in its ecosystem, they do have notable ties, but this involvement of firms with such deep ties to public-private partnerships really suggests that there could be more going on behind the scenes that have been overlooked and that we're not talking about. Interestingly, David Schwartz, Ripple's chief technology officer, the CTO, has publicly acknowledged working on projects for the NSA, the National Security Agency, prior to joining Ripple. And what he did was he worked as a cryptographer and a software engineer, working on projects related to secure messaging and encryption. Now, specific details about his exact role and the time frame with the NSA remain, limited. We don't have all that information. But he did join Ripple in 2011, and he joined as one of the early architects of the XRP ledger. Now, in 2020, an intriguing claim surfaced from former U.S. Assistant Secretary for Housing, known as Catherine Austin Fitts. She basically said a Danish tech firm funded by the United States Navy was reportedly developing a chip designed to integrate with Ripple's technology. Interestingly, no further updates on this development have emerged since then, and she never said anything about it afterwards. And the original YouTube video detailing the claim was later removed at some point, basically just adding another layer of mystery to the entire story. And it's strange because she has an incredible track record, very respectable, served a high ranking position in government, and she never receives any mainstream media attention, interviews, or spotlight by the legacy media, which I find very fascinating. Now, adding another layer to the puzzle, Peter Thiel, a member of the PayPal Mafia and an early Ripple backer, actually co-founded Palantir Technologies. So, what is that? It's a firm funded by the CIA's In-Q-Tel. Palantir has provided data analysis services for the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, and other US government entities, basically reflecting its deep integration with intelligence operations. Now, Andreessen Horowitz, another early investor in Ripple that we mentioned previously, also maintains very strong ties to organizations with government contracts. Furthermore, Ripple's partnership with the World Economic Forum, the WEF, connects it to influential networks often intertwined with intelligence and policy-making circles, which is very fascinating because these connections reveal a web where financial technology, Ripple, data intelligence, and national security interests all intersect. Interestingly, Peter Thiel is also associated with the World Economic Forum in various capacities, listed on the World Economic Forum's official website, and also recognized as a young global leader, further highlighting the convergence of elite financial, technological, and policy-making spheres. Additionally, the World Economic Forum is primarily funded through membership fees, partnership fees, and philanthropic contributions, as well as government contributions, which happens to be from the billionaire elites and the PayPal Mafia and these tech oligarchs that we keep talking about. So some of these tech oligarchs we mentioned and the wealthiest families that actually control the corporations and the monetary system and the entire world, like BlackRock, are some of the companies that actually invest and fund the World Economic Forum. Additionally, some tech entrepreneurs have engaged with the WEF through discussions and endorsements of initiatives like Universal Basic Income, also known as UBI, which has been made public. So they're very open about this, and a lot of the contributions from some of these entities are still concealed and remain unknown. Another significant connection is Ripple's partnership with the World Economic Forum, where Ripple is actually listed on the WEF's official website. While Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, isn't listed as an official member of the World Economic Forum, he still has spoken at World Economic Forum events on multiple occasions, including panel discussions at the annual meeting in Davos, Switzerland, and Ripple is recognized as a partner of the WEF and is listed on the WEF's official website. The organization has actually referenced Ripple as an example of innovation, so they clearly support and love Ripple. Brad Garlinghouse is also acknowledged in one of the World Economic Forum's recent reports that came out not too long ago. Furthermore, the World Economic Forum's document on decentralized and non-traditional payment schemes actually cites Ripple as a perfect example of an alternative payment rail for traditional financial systems. Now, what's very interesting here is that the WEF is an organization of unelected individuals known for promoting controversial and often very dystopian agendas. The World Economic Forum's influence stems from its ability to connect really lobbyists, corporations, academics, and politicians, and maintains a very deep connection and strong ties with billionaire tech oligarchs and multinational corporations like BlackRock. So the WEF has strategically placed its selected individuals in key positions within government and corporations so that they can amplify their influence on global policies. Given these factors, the World Economic Forum's clear support and affinity for Ripple is very interesting because all they push is dystopian ideology and policies, yet they are praising Ripple and giving them the spotlight, which is interesting. After all, if Ripple truly stands for decentralization, efficiency, and financial freedom for humanity, so why would an organization synonymous with control and top-down governance endorse it? It's pretty interesting. So from a purely logical perspective, something doesn't add up, and it makes me wonder. Now, diving deeper into the more well-known information that's more public, Ripple has formed partnerships with major financial institutions like Santander, Standard Chartered, American Express, UBS, Royal Bank of Canada, SBI Holdings, and many more banks that haven't yet been announced. They even have some interesting connections to the Bank of International Settlements, which is the central bank of central banks, and the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund. Now, Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has also been photographed with Christine Lagarde, interestingly, who's the former head of the IMF and current president of the European Central Bank, which further highlights Ripple's ties and connections to influential global financial figures. Additionally, the World Bank Group, the WBG, mentioned XRP and XLM in a 2021 document on digital assets outlining their potential use cases in the global financial system. The World Bank Group, basically a network of international organizations that helps shape global economic policy, and they operate under the United Nations system. Now, given these connections to the IMF and the World Bank Group, institution that was established in 1944, the Bretton Woods Conference, Ripple's activities seem closely aligned with traditional financial institutions, especially the central banks. And we know they don't have our best interests at heart, but supposedly Ripple does. Now, although Ripple is a company focused on real solutions to multi-trillion-dollar existing issues with groundbreaking technology that's pretty much aimed at improving cross-border payments and enhancing financial efficiency and transaction cost speed, I think it's rational to look at the deep connections between Ripple and the institutions that we talked about that already hold significant control over the entire global financial system, the central banks. Now, while Ripple's goal to streamline international transactions and use XRP as a bridge currency is very notable, I'm an XRP holder and have been for many years, and have encouraged people to research and look into the digital asset. One must ask, who truly stands to benefit from this infrastructure? Central banks, which control the global monetary system and the money supply? Or is Ripple actually working with them now because the central banks decided to give up their power and their control, and they decided to just work with Ripple and create a decentralized financial system for the world and allow their power to be taken away and given back to the people? Or are the central banks that control the world and the monetary system interested in potentially leveraging Ripple's technology and working with them to reinforce their dominance in the digital age, ensuring continued control over global liquidity in the financial system? It's a rational question. Ripple's strong ties with major financial institutions and its focus on institutional clients rather than retail users suggests that it may align with the interests of the global financial elite, because I can't find any other explanation for why they would work with them. But for those familiar with the influence of central banks, Ripple and XRP's trajectory could raise concerns about centralizing control over the future of money, something that may not be entirely transparent at this point in time, but Ripple's connections to the PayPal Mafia, a network of powerful tech figures with ties to major financial institutions and corporations, further adds to the intrigue surrounding its true intentions. Nonetheless, from a fundamental standpoint, XRP is still tremendously undervalued based on its utility and superior capabilities that it brings to the table within the financial system, and it has been for a while. I've been a XRP holder for a very long time now, and I've encouraged people for over 5 years with my brother to investigate and research the digital asset when it was below 20 cents, because I believe it's tremendously undervalued, not just from a technical perspective, but from a fundamental perspective. And I believe that XRP was chosen to serve as a world reserve currency, and that regardless if the narrative has changed, the public perception, the public narrative and story, I think personally that the goal to make that a reality remains the same and has not changed. I think that there will be multiple reserve currencies in the new financial system, in a multipolar financial system that we're moving to. But nonetheless, now Ripple's close ties with major financial institutions and central banks suggest that it is well aligned with the very elites that control the global financial system, the same central bankers responsible for creating the current debt-based slave structure that we have. Now, while Ripple does deliver on its promise to make cross-border payments faster and more efficient, which is true and is happening, it's also logical to ask, is Ripple leading the way, or are the central banks working with Ripple to retain their relevance and power in this evolving financial system? Central banks, which already control the flow of the money, the monetary system, could potentially use Ripple's technology to tighten their grip even further. Maybe, maybe not. But this raises questions about the true nature of Ripple and their role in the broader financial landscape. And again, I'm just being subjective in the way I look at this. But while central banks are not known for prioritizing the public's best interests, which is a known fact, their focus is more on maintaining and expanding power, and that's obvious. Now, even though we discuss the connections between Ripple, the tech billionaires, global financial institutions, the PayPal Mafia, and the World Economic Forum, it's clear that there's more, much more beneath the surface than meets the eye. And we have to be aware of that. So the information I've shared today is based on public sources and available facts, information that anyone can verify. But remember, some details will remain hidden, whether behind closed doors or kept classified for reasons we may never fully understand. And coming from the world of business and finance and banking, I could tell you for a fact that a lot of CEOs and executives and people in higher positions will strategically misdirect and mislead people for various reasons. In essence, this is just one part of the entire story, one angle of a much bigger picture. I like to zoom out. I think if you get all the pieces to the puzzle, zoom out, you get a clearer picture and use better judgment to get a sense of what's actually happening. But remember, information is power. I'm not taking sides here, and as an XRP holder myself, I recognize the immense value in the underlying technology and protocol and the innovative, ahead of its time approach potential that Ripple brings to the table. I get it. Knowledge and good judgment combined are powerful tools. So that's why the truth matters. We may never get the full picture 100%, but it's essential to keep asking the right questions and always look at all sides of the story. Anyway, if you like that, please subscribe, give me a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.